co-founder of Shango. And Shango focuses on empowering Web3 with the data and intelligence. So he's going to be sharing his insights about enhancing on-chain infrastructure for enterprises. Welcome, Li-Han.
Hello. Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Li-Han. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of Zango, and thank you for having me here today. I think it's an amazing event. I'm not so sure whether my topic fits into InfraCon, because the previous talk was much more deeply into tech, but just as a refreshing session, I think it's worth listening. So, a little introduction of ourselves. We define ourselves as a Web3 data intelligence company. We've been here around since 2018. We're a team of 80 people. And we're based in Asia. Our team is our company is registered in Singapore, but our major operation takes place in South Korea, Seoul. And what we do is we provide different comprehensive solutions for different stakeholders in our Web3 ecosystem, ranging from native Web3 projects, but also for traditional companies coming from Web1 or Web2 world. They're trying to adopt Web3 into their businesses. And all of our solutions are based on our internal on-chain infrastructure, as well as our in-depth research capabilities. So, for example, our internal BI dashboard would provide an interface for projects to keep track of their entire performances of either their network or their DApps. And also, we would provide a public research portal, a space for projects to publish their own fundamental metrics to the public. And those kind of metrics will be distributed through our research hub to the researchers, and they would write up research articles based on those data. And we also do provide our blockchain blogosphere. These are more specific for enterprise purposes in terms of reliability or security or user interface. And in terms of consulting, we do provide both services for both the Web3 world and the traditional companies. For the traditional companies, we have a pretty good track record in terms of helping the large conglomerates in South Korea. In South Korea, we have a lot of very active companies who are interested in adopting Web3 into their businesses compared to other countries. So we have a great track record. And by having that asset, we also help Web3 mainnets to onboard those companies into their network. So we help them to position themselves in the whole landscape of mainnet, and we also help them to come up with strategies how to engage those companies as well. Yeah, this is kind of a screenshot of our interface of Zango Beacon. It's business intelligence for enterprises. And yeah, we're here to solve the Web3 on-chain infrastructure problem specific for on-chain data. This is actually a code made by Coinbase. On-chain is the next online. They recently launched their mainnet based on the OP stack as a layer 2 in the Ethereum ecosystem. And it illustrates several things like centralized exchanges that have been less building on-chain are actively moving towards the on-chain space. It proves that in terms of maturity, we are heading towards a point where we can handle mass adoption in terms of the network capacity, in terms of storage capacity, and so forth. So I think it illustrates some point. And if you look back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we had the emergence of Web 2, where you had online services replacing desktop applications, users were moving towards the online space, and there they created a lot of data based on their activities online. And those data would be accumulated in each services, and among those data, there were patterns of the users that the companies would leverage, such as how to onboard more users, how to make them stay longer. If it's on e-commerce, companies would find patterns how to make more revenue for each single users based on those data. And now we are moving towards Web3, and companies now have the opportunity not only to dig in their own data, but they have the opportunities to dig in the other services data as well. Because for a public chain, if you run a DApp on a public chain, all the data would be accumulated on-chain. And those on-chain data will be available not only for the company itself, but for everybody. So it's kind of a democratization of accessibility of data. So there we have new opportunities, new ways to find insights among the data. And because of those kinds of reasons, we need to build a new way of analyzing data infrastructure. And one point I would like to mention is that blockchain data is hard to read for humans. So it's not meant to be for humans, actually. It's meant to be for protocols. And because we have plenty of heterogeneous networks out there, of course, for EVMs, they look pretty much the same, but there are multiple different kinds of mainnets with different kinds of protocols. And in order to have a logic to parse them, you need to first understand deeply about each protocol, and then you can come up with a solution to deal with that. Let's skip this. Yeah, and this is also another point that I would love to mention. Like, if you look back to 4 or 5 years from now, we've been pretty much focusing on not just from a data analysis perspective, but in terms of application perspective, we have been focusing really on trading investment. Like if you go back in the days where we had ICO craze, we had pretty much in every industry sector, we had leading projects who were promising us they're gonna innovate. For example, medical space, they're gonna innovate manufacturing space and so forth. But 4 or 5 years since then, we did not have that infrastructure to being able to deal with this different kind of needs of each industry sector. So until now, we've been focusing on just for trading and investment, and that was the case as well for analyzing on-chain data. But we as a company are pretty much excited that eventually the time will come where we have a lot of businesses from various industry sectors come into on-chain space, and they would also bring in data from their own company and own industry into the on-chain. And there will be various opportunities in terms of insights when those kind of data will be on-chain. There will be, for example, one could integrate one sectors from entertainment and then integrate it into different sector. Let's, for example, finance, and then come up with new ways of insights. Yeah. Okay, because we have a short amount of time, let's skip a few slides. And one of an example is that we have opportunities to work with is Lotte's Biconomy. Lotte is one of the largest conglomerates in South Korea. They have multiple businesses across various industries, ranging from construction, food and beverages, and maybe an amusement park as well. So, and by that, they have a huge amount of user base that they can bring into our Web3 ecosystem. And Biconomy is their representative character IP. And recently, they launched their PFP project in order to build a solid Web3 ecosystem for their business. And what we built is a dashboard for them. We priorly talk with them about their business, and we try to understand deeply about what they're trying to achieve, what their marketing activities are, and so forth. And we came up with different kind of metrics. So these are kind of the standardized examples: full price, average price, NFT royalties, daily volume transactions, net wallet flow, NFT staking ratio, and so forth. These are kind of the standardized metrics where you only you can also find in other websites as well. So for example, OpenSea would provide such metrics as well. Other services would provide different kind of metrics. And here the value lies in bringing them all together and aggregate them in a single interface where the company can browse in their everyday operations. And in terms of insight, in terms of value that we only provide, that comes from integrating our on-chain data with their own internal service data, as well as the social activity data that are off-chain. So here, unfortunately, I can't share it with you guys what kind of metrics are, but you can pretty much imagine what kind of values we can get when we are able to combine those two kind of data together, on-chain and off-chain data, to come up with new insights. Yeah. So this is pretty much it. Yeah, last message I would love to mention is we're pretty much open to collaborate, to learn about different projects here that have gathered here. So I'm in that Telegram group, official Telegram group of speakers of InfraCon, so feel free to reach me and to engage, to collaborate. Thank you very much.
Any questions to Lincoln?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like a meta question, but for your clients, enterprise clients,
Yeah.
one thing, like, have you experienced, like, in terms of what their actual needs are for the actual infrastructure they're migrating their data onto? Like, do they care about reliability or decentralization or security? Like, can you like go a little bit more about like that detail of what they need and require for their day-to-day?
So there are different aspects that enterprises care about. Security is definitely one thing they care about. They won't put their own data into a network or system that doesn't have the required security requirements. And the patterns they would use their on-chain data differs from company to company. So some company would require to have on-chain data poured into their system. For other companies, that would be too much data, so it would cost them too much. So they then we agree on ways how to integrate those data together. We're thinking of an architecture where we have an instance inside our network, and then the query engine would gather data from the public chain, from our IDC, and then their internal data from theirs, and then dynamically integrate them together in a query engine. That's kind of a future that we're thinking of.
Almost like a hybrid, like cloud model?
Yes. And yeah.
Maybe we want to talk more about that later.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yes.
Just curious, what aspects of account abstraction have you incorporated into your platform?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
What aspects of account abstraction have you incorporated into your platform? Is it gas abstraction? Is it key abstraction? Is it noise abstraction?
What kind of abstraction that we do?
Yeah, what aspects of it?
In terms of our analytics service? Unfortunately, I didn't get the point of the question, because obviously I don't understand the point of your knowledge. So let me just talk with you later about that.
Yeah, you can find Lee Han's Telegram account in the group as well. So maybe it will be worth a DM in the future.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So because we are more of an on-chain analytics platform, we are less, the service itself is less on-chain. So it's it's an off-chain solution for enterprises. So we have less the need of incorporating any account abstraction features into our service. But in terms of analysis, if we see more and more services incorporating AA into their DApps, so for that we kind of build queries that are suitable to analyzing the different activities specific for AA. So hope that